Dear listeners, in the vibrant heart of Saigon, where urban lights blend with ancient secrets, stands the iconic red church, Notre Cathedral Basilica of Saigon. Not merely a renowned tourist attraction with its vivid red bricks imported from France, this site harbors chilling tales that send shivers down the spine. Imagine an ordinary man like Ta Dai Thanh, owner of a modest interior decoration company, suddenly awarded a contract to renovate the church's interior at night. From initial eerie signs, such as frenzied fish biting at his hook, mysteriously blocked phone calls, to a bizarre burn from joss paper ash, everything gradually draws him into a horrifying journey. Ta Dai Thanh, a single man inheriting his late uncle's legacy, initially dismisses superstitions. Yet, stepping into the red church under the cover of darkness, he confronts tormented spirits, from a mischievous bald-headed boy who haunts him, a woman afflicted with leprosy imprisoned in the bell tower, to disabled veterans bearing bloody war memories. Terrifying dreams, bloody footprints dragging across scaffolding, and the dark secrets of the church's past, once a prison for leprosy patients and a refuge for desperate souls, nearly cost him his life. The story, the Red Church, the haunting mystery of Saigon, the terrifying journey of Ta Dai Thanh in the night of renovation, is not only a recounting of the city's painful historical truths, but also a profound lesson on honesty, retribution from taking advantage of the dead, and the power of unrested spirits. With thrilling twists, surprises, and humanistic messages, you will be captivated from the first moment, unable to turn away until the final mystery unfolds. We invite you to listen fully to discover whether Ta Dai Thanh overcomes this terror, and if those spirits ultimately find peace. Do not miss it. My name is Ta Dai Thanh, a single man. More than 10 years ago, I followed my similarly single uncle to Ho Chi Minh City, Vietnam to make a living. Upon crossing the border, my uncle made me promise two things. First, to inherit his interior decoration company. Second, after his passing, to handle his funeral arrangements and care for his grave. Now I have fulfilled both. My uncle is currently at rest in a cemetery on the outskirts. In my free time, I often buy a bottle of wine to visit him, sitting and chatting for a while. When he was alive, he always instructed me, in business one must have thick skin and a sweet tongue, but most importantly, one must be honest. Previously, I thought these were just outdated teachings from elders. But after a terrifying night at the Red Church, when I nearly lost my life, I realized that the words of the ancients are indeed profound truths. The story goes like this. My interior decoration company is a small enterprise with 4 teams of workers under me. The work is not very stable, just enough to get by. The main tasks involve repairing private homes and miscellaneous jobs. Mondays are usually slow, so I often rest at the company. I have a hobby of fishing. Before dawn, I prepare my gear and ride my motorbike to the outskirts. Typically, I fish all morning until the sun is high at noon, then return. That day, something strange happened, as if under a spell. Normally, with my mediocre skills, it's rare to catch a big fish. A 2 kilograms carp was the pinnacle of my life. But that day, as soon as I sat down and cast the line, the fish bit frantically as if they hadn't eaten bait in 8 lifetimes. Fish over 3 kilograms kept getting hooked one after another, their mouths gaping wide with blood-red interiors, eyes bloodshot. Even with the hook piercing their mouths, they still tried to swallow the bait. Some even swallowed the hook whole, forcing me to slit their bellies, watching the sharp line slice along their gills, blood everywhere. In the end, my basket could barely hold any more. Time flew by, and in the blink of an eye, it was noon. Normally, at this hour, I'd be having lunch at a Cantonese restaurant near home, but the fish kept biting non-stop. I hesitated between continuing or heading back. Ultimately, hunger won. I gritted my teeth and abandoned the chance to break my record, carrying a full bucket of fish on my motorbike back to the company. I couldn't eat it all alone, so I planned to share it with everyone. Unexpectedly, as soon as I arrived at the company door, the receptionist, A Lai, rushed out, shouting in Vietnamese, then switching to broken Mandarin, blaming me for not answering her calls. I was stunned. My phone hadn't rung all morning. I showed Eli the call history, but she looked shocked. She went back to get her phone, and the screen showed over 20 missed calls, all to me. We both found it bizarre. This is Ho Chi Minh City, with the best infrastructure in Vietnam. It felt as if someone deliberately didn't want me to receive Eli's calls. Just how important were these calls? Eli quickly explained, making me draw in a cold breath. It turned out that a department of the city government had specifically requested me to attend a meeting that afternoon, stating they wanted to assign the Red Church renovation project to our company. The Red Church is an icon of Ho Chi Minh City, a famous tourist spot attracting countless foreign visitors. Renovating the church is a project that many large local companies vie for, even resorting to connections without success. How could such a great opportunity fall into my hands? Without time to think, I skipped lunch and rushed on my motorbike straight to the government headquarters. Everything proceeded unexpectedly smoothly. When signing the contract, my hand trembled. The officials looked at me with strange smiles, exchanging glances. I felt they were even more eager than I was for me to sign. When I handed over the signed contract, they visibly sighed in relief. Only then did I sense something was off. But the contract was signed, and the renovation funds were generous. Roughly calculating, I could earn a substantial amount. Joy overshadowed the vague unease in my heart. Leaving the headquarters, I immediately bought roasted meat, joss paper, candles, and incense, intending to visit my uncle's grave. From childhood to adulthood, I've never worshipped gods or Buddhas. Thinking it over, it could only be my uncle blessing me from above. My uncle's grave is midway up a hill in an old cemetery quite far from the city center. The scenery here is beautiful. Grave plots are cheap, making it a top choice for locals. Burning the joss paper and arranging the offerings, I sat leaning against his tombstone, with 2 full glasses of wine in front. As if he were still alive, I raised a glass to heaven and earth and ancestors, then drank it in one gulp. I murmured thanks to my uncle, but at that moment, a piece of unburnt joss paper fell into the wine glass. I paused, frowning, and used my fingernail to pick it out. The black ash stuck to my fingernail, but suddenly a strange gust of wind blew, sending the ash onto the back of my hand. Abruptly, the back of my hand burned hot as if scorched by fire. Startled, I shook my hand vigorously, but the ash clung like glue. I tried scraping it with my other fingernail, but it seemed fused to my skin, impossible to remove. How eerie. Enduring the pain, I stood and looked around, finally spotting a chipped jar in front of a nearby tombstone, with some rainwater inside. Without asking permission from the grave's owner, I quickly grabbed the jar and poured water on my hand.